Welcome to Synagogues of Illinois, Part 20. In this episode, we take a look at Jewish houses of worship in the city of Chicago that are not in the two more heavily populated Jewish areas within the city, those being West Rogers Park and Peterson Park. So our first stop takes us to downtown in the Loop, and it's called the Loop Synagogue on Clark Street. This conservative-leaning congregation was founded in 1929. It has services both morning and evenings on a daily basis. Besides the normal time Mincha Marv service, they also offer an early Mincha service. For whatever reason, they do not list the name of their current rabbi. Our next stop is a few blocks east to South Michigan Avenue, across from Grant Park. And in this office building is the Central Synagogue of Chicago. It is conservative affiliated and was originally the Southside Hebrew congregation, and when that neighborhood changed, it moved to the downtown area. The synagogue was started in 1888 in the area where the White Sox ballpark now exists, and it subsequently shifted to the South Shore area. By the early 1970s, when the Jews migrated out of that area, the synagogue moved to the near north, renting space in the Chicago Sinai Synagogue building on Delaware Place, and then moved to the Water Tower Place a few blocks away. However, as we already indicated, we believe it has now found its home on South Michigan Avenue. It currently does not employ a rabbi, but rather uses a female cantor, Toby Lou Heyman. For Shabbat, it only has a Saturday morning service. We briefly mentioned Chicago Sinai Synagogue, which is located on Delaware on the near north side. Here is a view of that Reformed temple. Shabbat services are held both Friday evenings and Saturday mornings. Senior rabbi is Seth M. Limmer. He has two assistants, Amanda Green and Todd Zinn. This congregation was founded in 1861, and it was the first Reformed temple in Chicago. Yes, there are synagogues on the south side, but they're in the Hyde Park area, an integrated neighborhood also hosting the University of Chicago. We're looking at KAM Isaiah Israel, which claims to be around for about 175 years. KAM stands for Kehilas Anshe Marv. It didn't associate with Reform Judaism until 1874. Its name comes from a merger between KAM and Isaiah Temple. It has both a Friday evening and a Saturday morning service. And its current rabbi is Frederick Reeves. There's a conservative synagogue in the Hyde Park area, and it's called Congregation Rodfei Tzedek. Besides Friday night and Saturday morning Shabbat services, there is also a daily morning minyan. David Minkus is the rabbi. The congregation was established in 1906. It moved to Hyde Park in 1924. New facilities were erected in 1950. However, in 1998, part of the site was purchased by the Akiba Schechter Jewish Day School. So a new expanded facility was erected in 2000, shared by the Hyde Park Jewish Community Center. So we're going to shift over back towards the downtown and near north areas. There's the Chabad Center for Jewish Life in downtown Chicago, although it's really not in downtown. It's on the near north side near Division and Dearborn Parkway. Rabbi Meir Chai Beniyun is its director. There has been a Chabad presence in the Chicago Central area since 1987. There are both Friday evening and Saturday morning services for Shabbat. There is also a Chabad of Lincoln Park, which is just about another mile to the north. Menachem Mendel Beniyun is its director. This branch was established in 2012. We go a little more than a mile and a half to the north to the Lakeview area, to the first block in from the lake on Melrose, where we see Congregation Anshe Shalom B'nai Israel. This is a modern Orthodox congregation. If one were to traverse that alleyway all the way to the back of the Shul building, they would find a mikveh. The building to the right is now the Florence Heller JCC, and back in the 1960s it was home to the Chicago Jewish Academy, an Orthodox co-ed high school. The school is now located in Skokie, and its name is changed to Ida Crown. David Wolkenfeld is its current rabbi. He is a musmach of the Chovevei Torah Yeshiva in New York, which until just recently was noted for its left-leaning version of Orthodoxy. The Lakeview area has an Eruv and also a kosher restaurant. As the name would imply, the congregation is a result of a merger of two synagogues, Anshe Shalom and Bnei Israel. If you check out our videos on closed synagogues in Chicago, you will see that the Anshe Shalom building on the Old West Side still exists, with the Jewish regalia, albeit it is now a church. The merger occurred in the mid-1950s when Anshe Shalom moved in with Bnei Israel at this location. If one heads back east to the corner at Sheridan Road and turns to the left and north and goes a couple blocks in that direction, they'll come across Temple Shalom. This Reformed temple across from the outer drive and the lake shore was founded in 1867. It has both Friday evening and Saturday morning services for Shabbat. Edwin C. Goldberg, Doctor of Hebrew Letters, is the senior rabbi. There's an associate rabbi, Shoshana Conover, and there is also a Scott Gelman as an assistant rabbi. The congregation moved to the location shown here in the late 1930s. In this same area on the north side and a couple blocks in from the lake, one finds Congregation Anshe Emet, a conservative synagogue. Michael Siegel is the senior rabbi and was named so in 1990 after having been with the congregation since 1982. He is assisted by Rabbis Dror Chankin Gold and David Russo. The congregation also has a world-class cantor by the name of Alberto Mizrahi. Besides Shabbat services held on Friday evenings and Saturday mornings, there is a daily morning minyan. The congregation was founded in 1873 and has been at the location shown here since 1929. It is also host to a Jewish day school that is just a couple blocks away from the main synagogue building. It is now called the Bernard Zell Anshe Emet Day School, named after the former owner of the Chicago Tribune and the Chicago Cubs. In our last stop, we had about 2.5 miles to the north, and again, this time on Sheridan Road at the lakefront, to Temple Emmanuel, another Reformed congregation. It was built in 1954 with a significant remodeling done in 2001. The congregation itself was founded in 1880, but not officially chartered until 1898. Craig Mearns is the senior rabbi. There are both Friday evening and Saturday morning Shabbat services. This concludes our checking out of Jewish houses of worship outside the main Jewish populated areas, within the city limits. The next video will start to take a look at those mostly Orthodox congregations in the heavily Jewish populated areas of the far north side of the city of Chicago. So, bye for now and see you soon.